Hey, welcome to IndiePulse Music Magazine, and we're doing a new video feature. It's called On Track, where we hook up with record store owners and people who work at record stores. Look at this. And we're going to talk to them about records. Now, this series is actually called One Hit Wonders because it's unscripted, and whatever happens, happens. So there will be adult language. Ready? Fuck. See? Adult language. Anyway. So I'm with Justin at Paradise Records, which is our local record store here in Santa Maria, Orchid area of California. Sunny California. Notice Justin is wearing his Hawaiian shirt, and he just got laid, so he's pretty happy. So yeah. So Justin, tell us about Paradise Records.
Paradise Records. It's a collection of pretty much every genre you can think of musically.
Genre. Big word. Look it up.
Yeah, we got a lot of CDs, DVDs, vinyl records, 45s, cassettes, 8 tracks, even 8 tracks we have here too.
Not only that, but they got the tech too. They've got, you can't really see from the camera because I don't have a cameraman because I'm poor, right? So It's got all the different stereo equipment. It's got turntables, players, everything. So people can come here and actually for a reasonable price get equipment, vinyl, everything they need to enjoy music. So you're a record slut.
Record slut, yes, I am.
What is this should be good, ladies and gentlemen. What is a record slut?
Record slut, someone that will dig, wants to get down on their hands and knees to dig through vinyl. That will get dirty to get vinyl.
Hands and knees.
Hands and knees. Not like that.
Right.
You know what I mean out there, all you record collectors.
Yeah, we used to call them crate diggers when we were young, but moved up in the world.
Yes.
All right, so I asked you to pick some albums you might want to talk about.
Yes.
So, and like I said, this is unscripted. So, Justin has procured from the how many records you got here?
6,000 records.
Over 6,000 records. And that's just on the sales floor. You've also got your eBay room.
We have an eBay room.
They've got a storage vault full of records. I mean, pretty much if you go to the website, and we'll have all that information underneath. Down here, we'll have all the links and email and phone numbers and everything.
Definitely.
So you can contact them because they do online shipping and sales through their eBay store. And you can call them and say, hey, I want this wax. They'll look it up, and you got it.
Yes.
Ships fast, too, right?
Yes, very fast.
All right. No slowpoke here.
Nope.
No.
And I'll ship it very safe, like a pizza.
Beverage of choice?
Coors.
Coors. So, real man.
Coors is good.
Real man.
Yellow Belly.
There you go. Whoa.
I'm going back.
Going back a ways.
Yeah.
All right, so what wax you got for us?
Well, I got this pretty interesting Monkeys. I guess you can call it a bootleg. It's a Canadian...
So, Canadian import of Monkeys?
Yeah, it's kind of like a combination of all their albums all together. But you don't normally see this cover. It's a very interesting psychedelic...
So, we're going to bring it here. All right, so Canadian bootleg.
Yeah, Peter just died recently.
Yeah, we just lost Peter Tork.
Yeah, and obviously, Davey, and a while back, but it's one of those albums that collects all their stuff that's not as popular, which is cool.
Now, it says original soundtrack.
Yeah, it's...
So, I'm wondering, because I'm looking at some of these tracks, you're familiar with the Monkees movie Head, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I'm wondering if some of these tracks, I'm wondering if this is like a bootleg version of the Head soundtrack.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's kind of like they're more like trippy, like I Go Ape is on here.
Yeah, you don't see that on many.
Peter's Harpsichord, that's, it's kind of like the B-sides.
Yeah, it looks like it's all the B-sides. I mean, it's not like Daydream Believer or any of the top 40 stuff.
Which I personally like as a collector.
Yeah, okay, so here's a question for you.
Yeah.
And this is the way I think.
Yeah.
When I go looking for records, I look for the obscure. I look for the stuff that didn't make it top 40, didn't make, to the booth. I mean, like the stuff you play in here when you're selling records and stuff is a lot of very obscure, trippy stuff.
That's what I like, yeah.
So, I mean, as opposed, like, when you got a customer comes in, oh, I'm looking for the new Britney Spears album.
Yeah. Could be good.
As opposed to someone like me that goes, oh, I'm looking for the 1972 bootleg of Frank Zappa's trip to Europe where he passed out on stage. I mean, what kind of clientele you got coming in here? No offense, people.
It's a mix. I mean, people come in, they look for the common stuff, and then people come in, they're very specific. and they look for stuff that's very, you know, underground. You know, like an artist that, like Mongo Santa Maria, a guy just came in today actually looking for that, and I just happened to put out 4 LPs by him, and I never really sell that stuff as much around here, but we'll get, you know, customers that come in from San Francisco or LA area that love it.
Now, if you're, you know, a record collector, you're familiar with the movie High Fidelity, starring John Cusack, where, you know, he runs a record store, and guys work for him. One of them's Jack Black, one of my favorite comedians, because he is obscenely crazy funny.
Yeah.
Guy comes in looking for a Lionel Richie album, and Jack Black, you know, gives him the black treatment, you know. And you ever want to do that?
I try not to do that.
Come on. I know you want to do that.
I'm trying to think of
especially when I come in the store.
I think, no, never. I think there's times when people come in and they have there's something. I almost have to congratulate them in a way.
Yeah.
I've been lucky so far with the people that come in here.
I love that line. Do you even love your daughter?
That's actually, I have not said that yet. That's really good, really good. Jack Black kills it.
What's the next one? Looks like a classic. You're gonna love this.
Ritchie Valens, his first LP on Delphi, and what's really cool about this one, I mean, it's obviously an amazing record by itself, but this is actually the misprint they came out with, where here it says I Got a Gal Named Sue. It's actually misprinted. It should be a different track right here, actually.
Okay,
only a few hundred of these were made.
This actually hit the production line and actually went on the sales floor with that mistake.
Yes.
So it's a rarity and an oddity.
Yes, and obviously, you know, Ritchie Valens died way too soon, and this is one of my favorite
Buddy
LPs.
Holly, big, you know,
on the amazing Delphi label, which is also a very amazing surf label. But yeah, this is one of my favorites, definitely right here.
Now, and one thing, you know, Ritchie Valens, I believe, was not far from here. He's actually, you know, grew up in California, didn't he?
I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, actually, you know, it makes sense. I've seen the movie, and he's definitely a California boy.
It's, I don't know exactly where Ritchie Valens was from. Well, you know, loser. Me, loser, not Ritchie Valens.
No.
But, you know, California, so it's only fair that this would be here. Get a little close-up of the label, cover.
It makes sense. They came in recently, actually.
Yeah. So how? I mean, a lot of times on the Facebook page, which the link will be under there, you'll post pictures of, like, you know, a recent score and fine. I mean, we're talking like crates and crates of records.
Yeah, we'll go on record picks, as we call them, and we'll just go and we'll buy whole collections. We can leave with thousands. We can leave with 10. It just depends on what the person, what the customer is willing to get rid of. Sometimes they'll get scared and they don't want to sell them, which I understand.
Right.
It's not easy to sell your...
And I mean, you see this guy walking up to your house with a handful of money, give me your wax, you know.
Yeah.
But, so like, on those big scores where you, like, got crates of records, once you get them here, what percentage is actually viable and sellable? I mean, has there been any heartbreaks where you see something looks awesome, you take the record out and, like, there's a crack or somebody took a bite out of it?
I've had the wrong record in the sleeve. I've had somebody that's purposely taken a marker or a crayon and written on the record so you can't play that side. You can tell it's probably like an ex-girlfriend or boyfriend.
Ex-girlfriend got to the record collection. Yeah,
exactly. And it's usually like I've seen like a lot of Black Sabbath records like that.
Oh,
it's the good, you know, the stuff.
That's a heartbreak.
Yeah, and it's very sad. But every once in a while, you know, we'll get a collection in that's just beautifully clean. The person did a good job taking care of it. And when I get it, I just take it and sleeve it, get ready for the store. I mean, very rarely do I have, you know, I clean them and then don't have to put them out right after.
Now, I bring this up because out front you have your free section. Like, you know, most stores will have like a dollar bin, which they do here. But no record stores I've been to until I got here to California actually had, you know, free records.
Yeah.
I've come here and, like, there's like 10 or 20 boxes out front you can sift through, and some of the stuff's in pristine condition, but you just have like too much of it.
Yeah, we get so many records in. I got to go through it and separate it. The stuff that we can...
like 50 copies of the St. Peter, Paul and Mary album. It's a great album, but, you know...
Well, there's the classic Herb Alpert, Whipped Cream, that we see a lot.
Yeah.
Iconic cover, iconic album, but after a while...
Everybody's got one in their collection,
yeah. I mean, you can have a lot of Herb Alpert, but you need to save some room for...
Yeah, the rest of the world.
Exactly.
So what else we got here? Ooh. Oh, that one looks good.
Yeah, this is Sky Saxon, blues band, original member of the Seeds. So this is his first... I'm pretty sure it's his first solo album, technically, out of the Seeds. And you can tell by the cover, it's very trippy, psychedelic-y, and it on the back actually has
a child of the '60s right there.
Yeah. One of my favorite things is Muddy Waters actually wrote a little paragraph about the record, which to me is a big, like, if Muddy Waters is approving of it, then, that's something. And, yeah, Sky Saxon was one of my favorites, and at the shop here, it's the only copy we have, so it's kind of a big deal.
Gotta get that for you, so you see that.
Yeah, a spoonful of CD blues.
Now, just on the cover, it says $40, which I think for this is a really good deal. And, I bought records here before, worked with Justin.
Yeah.
And a lot of pristine stuff, never really complained. And, you take a great deal of time looking through the records and checking their quality.
I'm not going to put it out unless it's, great shape, unless I would play it in my personal table.
Yeah, but you're a record slut.
That's true.
What he would do for wax.
You would not want to know. I'll trade Coors. Coors plug.
Oh, this is funny. I love this.
Yeah, it's good.
So, next.
Ooh. Classic.
Booker T and the MGs.
On stacks. I can't remember what year it is. 66. Maybe later. But it's, obviously, you can't really, you just know it's one of the best. And, this one's actually in really good shape. 1962, actually, it's earlier than I thought. But yeah, this is one of my favorite LPs. I just put it out on the floor. Great cover, great album, all the way through.
You ever come across something where you're like, I want to keep it, I don't want to sell it?
All the time. Yeah. Shit.
I would not do well in a record store. My paycheck, I'd be living in the back because I'd be just stacks.
You just work, get some records in, and then you collect.
It's too much, really. Next.
Okay, so classic Blue Cheer.
Righteous.
It's probably one of the first, call it metal LPs. It influenced a lot of people.
That's on the Philips label.
Philips label. It's the original. It has like the, what would you call that?
The plastic coat.
The raised cover where it's kind of like braille almost in a way.
So it's embossed cover.
Embossed. There you go. That's the word.
Original price $397.
Yeah, that's.
Remember when $397 was a lot to pay for vinyl? Not.
That's crazy. It's crazy to think about. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. That's heavy. That's that fuzz, distortion.
Yeah, they wrote the song "Summertime Blues." Which inspired the Who. But okay. Another question.
Yeah.
Just the wealth of records that come in that are classic, but rarely, again, unheard of, obscure.
Yeah.
Only somebody who really knows about music would know about this album, and even fewer would know like what he knows about when it was released, etc.
Yeah.
How much research are you putting into this? This must be like seriously full-time gig.
Yeah, I have to definitely figure out which album is which when I put it out. The first album original pressing is definitely going to be worth possibly more than the reissue. I have people come in that band in particular have seen Blue Cheer locally in California here, and they come in and ask for Blue Cheer, and instantly I just know like they're into Zeppelin, they're a hard rock fan, and I want to make sure that I have the original for them, clean, because a lot of times the guys that are collecting these now, they have high-end turntables, they have very high-end equipment, not messing around.
Yeah, audiophiles.
Audio, exactly.
Which leads to people that think they know what they're talking about. I only buy first pressings of this, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, what? It's like, you got money? All right, I'll take you out back. Bam, Yeah, now I got money. So, next.
Oh, this is... So I thought I'd change it up a little bit. This is Alfred Hitchcock Presents Ghost Stories, and it's spooky stories for young people.
Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah, I thought I'd...
Speaks to children.
I thought I'd change it up. This is more of like a...
That's like Cthulhu for preemies. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it's basically him narrating children's ghost stories.
Wow.
And to me, it's very interesting.
Wonderland Records.
Yeah.
I remember that from when I was a kid. But I'm old.
And the cover is great.
This is in mint condition. Check this out. Clean. This is pretty awesome.
But yeah, it just kind of shows, I thought I'd put that in there to kind of show the genres we have. It's not just hard rock and, pop music. We have a very interesting miscellaneous section that I love, actually. Like, really interesting, weird kind of stuff. So,
Yeah,
I
so
thought people would like
when
that.
when I came in, talked to Justin about doing this video, I told him pick 8 to 10 records just out of the blue that he'd want to talk about.
Yeah.
And little sideline thing. This is proof in the pudding that he actually knows what he's talking about, because none of it.
I try.
I mean, none of these are like within the past 10 or 15 years. None of these are, you know, top 40 or anything like that. But I mean, music for people that actually enjoy music. And at Paradise Records,
Definitely.
I find that's what you find when you look through the bins. I mean, yeah, I mean, you got the top 40 hits. I mean, everybody's in the world's got a copy of Led Zeppelin 1, 2, and 3. And if you want, you can buy another 20 or 30 copies here, because you'll find them here.
Yes, we do.
But like James Gang, Joe Walsh, you know, Eagles, you know, a lot of classic stuff.
Doors.
As well as, you know, those one-offs that they only made a couple of, and they may have sold like in Europe,
Yeah,
and
imports.
they never made stateside, but they've got like 3 pristine copies. Come on down to Paradise Records, check it out.
Yes.
So what's some of the other stuff you got here? I mean, obviously you got musical instruments, guitars. I
Yes,
mean,
we got a lot of pedals
look
over
back here,
here.
got guitars.
Got mixers, really nice mics. Basically, if you want to start a band up and you need all your gear, chords, we have all that also. It's kind of a one-stop shop if you're a musician and you enjoy music and you want to play music. It's all here in one place.
Now, a couple more things. Now, I know you've got what we call the VIP club.
Oh, yes.
Now, this is really cool because you spend $100 in vinyl,
Yep.
and then forever after that, you know, as long as his memory doesn't fail,
Sometimes. You never know.
you get everything, what, like half price?
Half price, yeah.
Half price on all vinyl,
Yeah,
45
so you come
LPs,
in
78.
and, you know, you can really get a lot more that way, obviously. You have like a spending limit. If you find something, you know, that's $30, obviously you're getting it for 15. It's a great deal.
Yeah.
No one else is doing that. My boss has been doing it for a long time, and it's one of the things that got me to start shopping here and start working here. I knew that, like, it's a very cool thing to start doing. It draws you
Does
in.
that count with the gold records?
Of course. For you. Only for you. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, you changed the store a lot. There's a lot, even more records here than the
They
last
come in
time I was
every
down
day.
here.
Yeah.
As well as some other really cool, you know, neat stuff. But I mean, you've moved other stuff out. You've expanded. There's another. You got the thrift store, which
Yes.
has moved the other stuff to, and then you've got another store in Lompoc.
We did have a store in Lompoc. We actually moved back now.
Okay,
Just
so you
we're trying to
migrated
keep
back
it
here?
all in the same vicinity. You know?
Hey, you know what? As long as you
Make
got
it
the
easier.
doors open,
Yeah,
that
it's true.
works.
It's been working
So-
out for us.
And again, that goes to areas. Unfortunately, the days of the mom and pop stores are starting to dwindle. Everything's online.
It's
But the thing
true.
is, you know, and I know that this is kind of point of contention here. A lot of people go, oh, well, I get it for that much on eBay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you got $300 to spend on one record on eBay, yeah, but you walk in a store, you're looking for a good deal. That's why Paradise is really
Yeah.
cool, because I've seen stuff here that is a lot more online. And, you know, then there's also like Discogs,
Yes.
you know, which is a great resource for finding out about
I use
records.
that every day. That's
Yeah.
probably my biggest reference I use. I wouldn't be able to price certain things if I had that.
Now, what's 3 things somebody should watch out for when buying a record? I mean, buying a used record
Yes.
from any record store, with, you know, what are 3 things they're like they should look out for? Whether it's a warning sign or grab it before it's gone. I mean, think of 3 things.
I mean, obviously the condition's always a factor. You always look at the sleeve does its job and holds up and makes sure the record's safe. But open it up, make sure it's in good condition. I'm always looking for like the labels, seeing what label it's on. It could be a private pressing, something you never heard of, which in a way to me is intriguing. I want to dig into that. But just make sure the condition's good, and make sure that it's it could be an import. You never know. Make sure it all stacks up. Japan import with the little inner tag sleeve, and yeah, I mean you got to make sure they're all.
All right, so we got condition. Well,
Condition.
What about warning signs? I mean, you go to a place and, you know, like let's say you go to a store and you find a record and it's sleeved and tape closed, and you
yeah.
go, hey, can I check out the disc? And they're like, no.
Oh yeah, that's
Can't open it.
Yeah, here we let everybody open up the records. I mean, I feel like that's only natural to be able to see what you're purchasing. I've seen records that the record itself is pristine and then the record is torn up. And I see that a lot with Black Sabbath records. I see that a lot with metal records, actually, where it just seems like those are more party records. Credence for some reason. I always see Credence LPs that are a little bit more rough than normal. But I think that's because people had a little too much Coors.
You ever open up a sleeve and shake comes out, a couple seeds?
Actually, I found a couple interesting items in records. Actually, some of them I could talk about off camera about. But
well, no, I'll bring up something actually did happen. It didn't happen to me, but it happened to a friend of mine. He had went to a thrift store and bought a pair of speakers. Really cool speakers. They just need to be cleaned up. So he takes the speakers out, which were in pristine condition, and went to open up the case, and inside he found 2 film canisters. One had $500 cash rolled up into it.
Nice.
And the other film canister was about $1,000 worth of raw uncut coke.
Woo.
Yeah. So he tossed the coke.
That reminds me.
So he says.
That movie Blow. There was a scene it reminds me of that. That was a good way to hide your drugs back in the day.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Big cabinet like that.
Yeah, you're sitting there listening to music. You can do something with it anyway, right?
Boop, pop it in. Yeah, it's true. I need a little. Yeah.
But the thing was, I mean, he's paid like $5 for the pair of speakers, so he was up $400 and something.
Man.
So
that's a good score.
That ever happened here? If so, I'll buy some speakers, man.
I'll let you know.
All right, Justin. Well, thanks for doing the interview.
Thank you.
All right, this has been On Track with IndiePulse Music Magazine and first ever one-hit wonders.
Thank you.
Fuck. There. Oh, see, adult language. Sorry, I warned you. Anyway, cut.
Cut.